Blue and I just got back from our walk this morning. Beautiful weather, nice cool morning, and just the perfect kind of weather. I got email yesterday from folks that their morning temperature that yesterday morning was 23 degrees, and we aren't even close to that. I'm sorry, but our days are just about perfect. A little warm in the afternoon, but just about perfect. I don't know if you've seen videos or pictures of our time together in the parking lot having communion. What a wonderful time of fellowship that was. It was just great. Everything went well. Thanks to Al and Susie and all the work they put into it, and Dorothy and Sherry from the office, and Betty leading us in song, and Tom setting up the sound system, and Mac and Jose helping, and it was just a great time, and for all those that were helping, Steve and Marilyn and Jan serving, and others, I couldn't even mention all the names that were involved, and we appreciate every one of them. And it just shows you how hungry we are for fellowship. And the response to the virtual sermons going out has just been amazing, very, very humbling. And it's just, we, the fellowship, are staying very closely in touch with each other during this trying time. On my walk this morning, I was thinking about how amazing God is. You know, we had that wonderful time of fellowship there in the parking lot, and then I went from the parking lot to Chaparral Winds, where Science Care had Louise Julian out on the sidewalk on a gurney, because that they wouldn't allow Steve and Bentley, the Julian's son and grandson, into the facility. So we gathered there on the sidewalk and had prayer and talked for a while, and then Science Care took Louise away, but she's in heaven now. Uh, she has no worries or concerns, but family left behind, Irvin and Steve and Bentley, they have grief. And so we go from a wonderful, happy time of fellowship to a more serious time of grieving and dealing with some of the tough things that life brings our way. And it brought to mind Moses when he was in the wilderness and God was speaking to him from the burning bush. Moses had all kinds of reasons why he was not the man to go with God and lead the nation of Israel out of Egypt. They were slaves in Egypt, and God had chosen Moses, and Moses was just a reluctant servant, and basically saying, "Who am I, God, to go and do this? I don't know how to do this." And God demonstrated to him that he would work wonderful signs through Moses, so the people would believe him, and he would lead his people into freedom. And Moses said, "Well, no, they'll never listen to me because my voice is not a good voice, and it's a slow speech." And I don't know whether he was talking about maybe he had a stuttering problem or whatever he had, but it was a genuine problem, and it bothered him. And he said, "That's going to disqualify me from being the person that speaks to the nation of Israel." And God told him, after Moses said, "Lord, I'm not eloquent either in the past or since you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of speech and of tongue." Then the Lord said to him, "Who has made man's mouth? Who makes him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth and teach you what you shall speak." And what God is saying to Moses is that all he asks us to do is to be. Just be there. And it's so important for us to know that the fruit of everything that we do is God. That's God's bailiwick, not ours. Now, what God does through us, that's God's bailiwick, not ours. He just asks us to be there. He just asks us to show up, to show up at times of fellowship when it's safe, to show up on the sidewalk to minister to people who have lost a loved one. He just asks us to show up. So whatever circumstances God brings your way this week, all you got to do is just show up and God's going to put words in your mouth. God's going to use you in the way that God wants to use you. So let's be encouraged that we are where God wants us to be. We, in our nation, and as we grapple with this virus, we are where God wants us to be. He's in charge of the virus. He's in charge of governments. No matter what conspiracy may be going on or not going on, God's in charge. And he doesn't stand to the side and wring his hands wondering what's going to happen next. So let's just show up. Let's just be what Christ wants us to be. You have a great day, and I trust that God will bless you this week. We'll see you on Sunday.